This is the Evolution of Ganon's theme, but here's what's crazy. In Skyward Sword, we learn that Ganon embodies this eternal evil, Demise, reincarnated to challenge the hero of time in each generation. And just like Ganon's reincarnation, his theme undergoes a continuous evolution each game release. But beneath the surface, we hear Ganon's theme everywhere. I'm Kevin, and welcome. Wait. So before we start, at the end of this video, I'm going to reveal a reference so subtle that even the most die-hard fans will be blown away. We got another banger, guys. Let's dive in. Also subscribe. And Director's Cut crew, let's go. Guys, I'm going to throw in some cool things kind of all sporadically. I'll take my time with it. If you're here, it's because you really enjoy watching the channel and you want to hear my thoughts, so I'm not going to be in a hurry. Okay, wait, let's address the elephant in the room. Which Ganon theme? He's got like 1 million themes. You might even say that the sheer number of themes for Ganon dwarfs the other characters. See what I did there? Okay, although Koji Kondo did not give Ganon his own unique theme in Zelda 1, he did give him this. Wow. Pay attention because this is key for everything we see in Ganon's themes going forward. So we get double parallel fourths, so a fourth, and a fourth stacked on top of each other, moving chromatically. Very cool. This sets the tone for all Ganon's themes going forward. Doesn't it just sound menacing? Okay, Director's Cut bonus clip. By the way, somebody pointed out that this motion, starting from here, sounds a little bit like the item get theme, right? So it's kind of interesting that maybe it's like a big reveal, like you got an item, you got this, you get the Master Sword, here's Ganon, right? So it could be that. It's also, right? So probably not related, but it's always fun to speculate. You never know. But does anyone remember Phantom Ganon from Wind Waker? That is so sick. Not only that, but as I pointed out in my last video about costs, this is actually from Link to the Past. By the way, also parallel fourths. And also moving chromatically. Very interesting. Now, Zelda II: The Adventure of Link doesn't have a Ganon theme per se, but again here, composer Akito Nakatsuka follows the lead of Koji Kondo from Zelda 1 and does this. We literally just heard that. Wow, so it's not double parallel fourths, it's just parallel fourths. But then it goes minor 3 and chromatically down. Fascinating. So he does take the same thing that Koji Kondo uses in Zelda 1, and Koji Kondo in A Link to the Past seems to have followed his lead. Just there's so much continuity among Zelda, even with different composers, it's insane. Wow. So again, these parallel fourths moving around, right? And then eventually moving down a whole step. Wow. And that brings us back to A Link to the Past, the official Ganon theme, Priest of the Dark Order. Wow. This section's very interesting. Speeds up. And starts over. Wow. Director's cut crew. Okay, so this is what I've always loved about this theme. I don't know if I'll include this in the regular thing or not, but check this out. Okay, so here. So that's really interesting because it's a... It's got kind of this minor 9, 11 sort of sound to it, right? And then as it moves up, that's only there for a second. Let's see. So that's kind of an interesting, it's a sharp 11, major 7 sharp 11, which doesn't belong in kind of this minor scary piece. So it's very interesting the way the chromaticism moving over that perfect fifth ends up creating chords that you wouldn't expect. So here. And then. It sounds kind of like that, right? It's a 6/9 chord. Look. 1 5 3 6 9 5. You get that all the time. Wow. And then this is a major 7 chord. What in the world? That's insane to me. I love how Koji Kondo composed this theme. This is one of my favorite themes ever. Very, very beautiful. Okay, now let me think of how I want to present it to everybody else. So in the left hand in the very lowest, you just get this 1 5 going in C minor. Right, then you get F and B flat. Then they both just move down a half step, and then up a whole step. And same thing, down a half step. And then it moves up here, A and D, down a half step, and then up a little bit more. Actually doesn't have that much dissonance for a piece that's supposed to be really menacing. It's beautiful, right? I mean, well, listen to this. It's a major 7 chord, right? Beautiful. And then the second section is really just a minor chord. It's like this, but it's played in first inversion, and then down a half step, and then kind of the same thing, up a minor third, up a minor third again. One of the brilliant things about it is playing those minor triads still keeps those parallel fourths moving. How cool. So it creates this very kind of tense, unsettled sound of minor moving in a pattern that outlines a diminished chord. So there's tritones everywhere, dissonance everywhere, and then it comes to this kind of climax part, and then it goes back to the beginning. Beautiful. And that theme has appeared all across the series in places you wouldn't expect. Okay, director's cut crew, my wife just reached out and asked for help, and this is what my daughter said afterwards.
Thank you. Love you.
And then my daughter.
Hello.
Does your heart just melt? Continuing. Now, quick note, I'm not going to be covering the battle themes for Ganon or that 6-note descending line that we get from level 9, but if you want to hear more about that and some of the connections I've made, check out my cost video here. Obviously, it's an Ocarina of Time. Sounds great. Like, the instrumentation for N64 was actually very good for its time. It's a little rhythm change, huh? A little more regimented. And then a little silence right before it starts over again. I like that. But the cool part of Ocarina of Time is they use this theme in a very unique way as you climb up Ganon's tower. Listen to this. So again, double parallel fourths moving chromatically. Amazing. Guys, we see that initially from Ganon and Zelda 1 just briefly from Koji Kondo, and he builds upon that for every Ganondorf theme moving on. I never realized that before I started studying it maybe 2 months ago. Incredible. Let's keep listening. Organ just sounds creepy. So it... Oh wow, it added the second line to create the parallel force just now. Did you hear that? Okay, that's different. Okay, moved up a minor third. Let's see what it does. Okay, yep. What you're gonna notice is it starts evolving. I didn't remember this. I haven't beat this game in a long time. See if there's that same pause. Yep. Da 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 da. Still fourth, right? Da 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 da. Same key. Yeah, so up a minor third. Wow. Now there's a kind of arpeggiated broken chord going on. Da, da, da. The same first inversion minor chord. Huh. So the other thing, what's cool about this whole thing is it does build and evolve, but it also crescendos. So as you go up higher in the tower, it gets louder, which obviously means you're getting closer. So you get closer and closer and closer until you actually open up the door, and Ganon is literally sitting there playing organ. Ridiculously cool, very powerful. I did not expect him to be playing organ the first time. I don't remember the first time I saw it. I was probably like 7 or 8. But it definitely sticks with you, right? I mean, you see that scene and you're like, oh my gosh, like he's right there. It feels like he's right here. So yeah, it keeps going. I don't remember any of this. It sounds like your heart is beating faster. Like it makes you feel like you're... Oh, they added in a tritone there. Did you hear that? I did not know that. Hold on a second. Wow. Wow, that's so funny. Let's see. Oh my gosh, that... What a guy. Koji Kondo, what a guy. Has anyone ever noticed that? Again. Oh, man. Well, that one had more than I thought it did. So this is one of the most dynamic uses of music in Zelda early on. For example, we see in Wind Waker when you face Phantom Ganon. The music changes every time you hit that energy ball back. I didn't notice that because I just listened to the soundtrack as a kid over and over and over again. I only actually beat that part maybe twice. So I didn't remember that it changed every time you hit it. Super cool. Interaction between the game and the music. Or for example, in Breath of the Wild, every time it turns to night, the music slows, it drops down a half step. They do the same thing in Tears of the Kingdom. Almost every theme does that, especially in all the villages and towns. And here the music evolves, but it gets louder as you go up the stairs. Super cool. Zelda has always treated music, it's elevated it beyond just background and made it integral to the game, which I've always really appreciated. Okay, does it appear in Majora's Mask? What I love is obviously I get excited when I find these things, but I get even more excited to be able to share it with you guys because I know that most people don't put in the time into the research. But you watch a video like this and you're like, that was insane. Check this out. It was actually a very cool transition. They went up a tritone and then resolved a half step down. So it ended up being like 5-1. That's really cool. Koji Kondo always goes up a fourth in the third time through, like a B section. 5. Okay. So wait till we get a little further in. Okay. Parallel fourths, double parallel fourths stacked, moving chromatically. Wow. You see how Koji Kondo used the same building blocks for like literally every boss theme ever? I mean, it's the exact same stuff, right? I mean, I don't even remember what key it's in, but you know. I think it is the right key. Something like that, right? Double parallel force moving up chromatically, and he uses that same thing kind of in this atonal, you know, octatonic scale sort of sound. Ridiculous. But that's not the coolest part. You get to around 1 minute in the track. By the way, this is called Boss Battle Majora's Mask if you want to look it up. You get around 1 minute in and it plays this. Oh, and let's see. So it's not the exact... Oh, how fascinating. So I just realized... Yeah, okay, so in that part normally in the original Ganon theme, you know, it goes... Right? And then eventually it goes... And it plays that minor arpeggio in first inversion. Well, here they follow the same pattern, but they keep the double parallel fourths. So they, let me see what key it's in. Wow. So they follow the same. Then down a half step, up a minor third. And you can keep following that and go, let's see. So they follow the exact same pattern, but they use the parallel fourths instead of minor arpeggios. Clearly a callback that was so subtle, I didn't notice it until I started researching. I listened to all the boss battles I could find, all the enemy themes I could find. I didn't think it was in Majora's Mask. It's hidden in there. Let's keep going. Wind Waker goes crazy with Ganondorf's theme. Original key. Little bells in the background. Right? A little crescendo each time. It's a little more musical. And I think this one is just on repeat. It takes a little pause and continues. Let's see if they add something the second time through. So brass, very fanfare-ish. It sounds a lot like the instrumentation for inside Hyrule Castle, actually. Okay, so it does. Yeah. Flute, maybe clarinet, maybe some strings. Da-da. Tritone there. Okay, this next one from Wind Waker is actually inside of Ganon's castle, and it might be my favorite of all of them. This, for me, it's like the most pure. It's piano, and this time it adds something. Listen to this. Wow. So they remove the original 1-5. It's changed keys, and it's also using double parallel force now. Da da dum, da da dum. Wow. So the coolest part of this is not even the opening, it's the counter melody that they add for only Wind Waker. Listen to this. Sounds like human voice almost. Beautiful. And it fits in with the chords very well. So you're going to see that come back in just a minute. But here's where it gets insane. So I'll be honest, I haven't beaten Wind Waker in probably 20 years. So long before I had a music degree. In Ganon's castle, you have to go back and defeat the enemies you've already defeated from the previous areas. Not only that, but it's actually as if you've gone back in time because they take away items from your inventory. It's as if you're playing through it in the past. And to capture that feeling, they fused the music that you went through originally with Ganon's castle. Crazy. Listen to Earth Temple. Very rhythmic. Can't wait for this to build. Probably skip some of this. What instrument is that? Sounds like that voice from Dune. Is that what I'm talking about? Okay. How cool is that? You guys remember the original Wind Temple theme? Now listen. How would this impact you if you were playing it for the first time? This must be common knowledge. I mean, everybody who's played Wind Waker more than once is probably aware, except for me. I think it's super cool. Dragon Mountain Shrine. This one's a little more subtle. Something like wind. Where they're uneven, it makes it sound a little bit more like realistic, like somebody's right here in front of you. Wow. Fascinating. Forbidden Woods. Wow. I mean, it works, right? I mean, it sounds very different. You guys ever seen, like, the science experiment where they take two sheets that are, like, sort of translucent and they're different colors, and you put them on a projector? I'm dating myself. People don't use projectors anymore. They put them on a projector with light coming through, and they put one over the other one, and suddenly it turns into a different color. That's kind of what this sounds like. As they add one on top of the other, originally you hear one of them and it sounds a certain way, it sounds like in a certain key. Then the other theme sounds like a certain key, but when you add them together, suddenly it sounds kind of different. It's nuanced, it's creating different chords, maybe sounds like it's in a different key. Fascinating. And we're not even close to being done. Listen to The Great Sea is Cursed. Wow. That's a beautiful. Wow. That's crunchy. Jeez. So it takes kind of the same melody and stuff, but they transform it. Beautiful chords. Wow. The implication, of course, is that Ganon is behind whatever this evil force is that you're facing. Yeah? Gosh, it's beautiful. Okay. So the highest voice just keeps moving up chromatically. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It shouldn't work out. The math shouldn't work out because they're moving up in minor thirds. But somehow it's like it gets off a little bit, and then by the end it locks back in. That's actually really cool. Listen to that again. Listen to the highest voice. Wow. Well, it's a tritone. Wow, that's really cool. Director's cut, I'll give you a little sneak peek. So I've recently got into the topic of thematic transformation. So an easy example is Super Mario World. I'll play some of it. So the overworld theme goes like this, right? Then you get to the underwater theme and they change it suddenly. It's in 3/4, it's a little more floaty. Maybe there's something like that, right? And then you get to the castle and it sounds like this. And it's different notes, but the same shape, right? And that's exactly what they do here. So Koji Kondo wrote both of those, by the way. But they use that in things like Breath of the Wild, the dragon theme. That was the first time I remember thinking about it, where there's the sort of perfect dragon theme, a lot of pentatonics, sort of this divinity feeling, and then suddenly it's corrupted. And now there's notes that don't belong in the pentatonic scale, and there's even some tritones, some minor seconds, really tense things because it's just been altered. It's been corrupted. And that works really well with the theme of Ganon, and Calamity Ganon having... I always get gloom and malice mixed up. Gloom, right? No, malice. Gloom is in Tears of the Kingdom. Malice all over Hyrule, where if you step on it, you get hurt. It looks ugly and menacing and stuff. And so musically, they represented that by taking something that sounds really good and perfect and then altering some of the notes to make it sound off and tense. So amazing concept, and I've seen that a lot from Disney. I've worked on a script already, compiling examples, and I'll probably do a video on that at some point. But this came across through this video, and I suddenly went, oh, well, yeah, there's an obvious example. The Great Sea is Cursed. Beautiful. Does anyone remember Puppet Ganon? Old timpani solo. I'll skip ahead a little bit. Did you guys just hear that? How cool is it that they keep adding these little sections in? I mean, I think I hear it, but it kind of goes past me. Like I recognize it, and it seems like it fits, and I sort of know that it's Ganon, but it doesn't really occur to me that, oh wow, that's actually a quote to the Priest of the Dark Order theme. Super cool. Now, there's one crazy reference I cannot play for you here because it's got to be my finisher. It's so cool. Make sure you see it before you leave. And if you're nerding out as hard as I am, you should definitely subscribe. But I can show you this. Final Ganondorf battle. Parallel fourths, chromatic. Very Ganon-like, right? So here we get the counter melody from Ganon's castle. Wow. Now it's in parallel fourths. Right? Well, there it is. Yeah. Now listen to what they do here. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Great ocean theme. That counter melody. Wow. Wow, and then morph one of those notes. How cool is that? Do you ever hear Zelda's Lullaby on top of there? That's super cool. Twilight Princess. Another game I don't think I've ever officially beaten it. It came out when I was like between middle school and high school. I played it a little bit in college, but I didn't have a Nintendo Wii. I eventually got it for GameCube, and I just sort of ran out of time. That was like my last one to play through. Never played through Skyward Sword. And then as an adult, I was like, Breath of the Wild, let's go. I've logged in my 100 hours there. And beat Tears of the Kingdom as well. Alright, see how this one builds. Very interesting. So they go directly from Hyrule Castle into Ganon's theme. So kind of establishing a connection there. That's crazy. I don't know enough about this game to really explain why, but I've heard that there's a lot of connection between Hyrule Castle, King Hyrule, Ganon in this game. It's also oh wow. So that's fascinating. So originally, right? That is the original key, but also so they kept each one in their original keys. Do they play that note? I don't think they do. It's like not even a bass. It's very interesting that they use the original key for both. And so it creates sort of a new, like it's displaced, right? Like when you, is that the right term for it? Refracted, right? When you like put your finger in the water and suddenly it comes out like a little bit over here, right? Where it's off. It's kind of like that in music, like you slide it over and now it fits in a different way. Okay, there they go. So now they're just playing them over each other, right? I mean, that's the left hand from Ganon's theme with the right hand of King Hyrule's theme, right? Because this would be King Hyrule's theme. And would be Ganon's right hand. Interesting. Fascinating that they don't play, because it would be too muddy. So they keep the melody for King Hyrule, you know, Hyrule Castle theme, but now it's the full-on Ganondorf theme. What's also interesting is they continue the Wind Waker version of it, where they move up a minor third. That's not in the original. Fascinating. This is also one I believe that progresses as you get a little bit closer. So as you continue to either move up the tower, is that organ I hear? Wow, they added organ. Yeah, another example in Zelda where they make it a little bit more interactive. As you progress, as you get closer, it starts to evolve. It starts to feel a little bit more real. Right. Love it. This guy says, bro, I want this played at my wedding when I'm walking down the aisle to my bride. Bro, with that attitude, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know. Let's get to the wedding first. A Link Between Worlds in Lorule Castle. Check this out. Of course, King Hyrule's theme backwards, or Hyrule Castle theme backwards. There it is. Original key. Wow. 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 So completely oh, hold on. Was that another quote? Wait a second. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Wow. So another little quote there. I wonder if there's more. I've never actually played this game. I would love to, though. And the music is actually incredible. Every time I listen to the soundtrack, I'm blown away. But at least a couple of nods there, and they've totally reharmonized that part into totally different chords. I was about to say worlds apart. Moving on. Breath of the Wild. Do you guys remember this cutscene?
There was also a prophecy. The signs of a resurrection of Calamity Ganon are clear, and the power to oppose it lies dormant beneath the ground.
So here we go with the...
We decided to heed the prophecy and began excavating large areas of land.
So here we go with that concept of kind of the reincarnation of Ganon each time, and just that slight nod back to the original Priest of the Dark Order theme is very cool. Or listen to this one. This one's creepy. Very Blood Moon sounding, right? Original key there. Wow. Yeah, same keys. Wow. The beast inhabiting the castle. I don't remember that one. Chick-fil-A, gotta love it. How about an Hyrule Castle theme? Wow, again, same key. Wow. So that's in a different key. Okay, so fascinating to me that all of these pieces keep Ganon's theme preserved in its original key. So it's like they're choosing the key of all of these themes based on the fact that they're going to quote Ganon and they want it to line up in the same key. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Okay, so this is in G minor? Yeah. Wow. Okay, so at first I thought that they intended for every single piece to be in a key that would suit quoting this in the original key. Right? But then I realized that this is not the key that we're in. We're in G minor. So in this key, this actually sounds really cool. That's a major 7 chord. Beautiful. So it works, particularly this part, right? But that's pretty cool. G minor 7 to G major 7, beautiful. Wow. What about the Blight Ganon themes? That's super cool. This is Thunderblight, by the way. I love how the instrumentation changes between each of the different versions. Okay, we'll skip ahead. I've already broken this down in depth on my Road to Rito series where we went through Wind Blight, and they're all basically the same theme. There's like a lick here or there that happens in one and not the other. The instrumentation has changed. Other than that, all the chords and basic stuff is the same. That's a very cool callback because it's actually kind of different notes, right? It just moves up chromatically the whole time, but it just shows you that all you have to do is move in fourths and chromatically, and it sounds like Ganon, right? Or move however you want. There's one more insane one in Breath of the Wild that I'm also going to save until the end. Now, Tears of the Kingdom goes crazy with Ganondorf's theme. If you haven't beaten Tears of the Kingdom yet, I'm not going to show any footage, and I'm not going to read any names that would be like super big spoilers. Very cool. Original key. Oh, wow. So the bass notes are in the original key, but fascinating. They have changed the right hand and moved it down like let's see. Down a minor third. Wow. Fascinating. And they do that so that they can go from here and land there. So it's almost like a 5 chord. Let's see. That's not at all what I meant to play, but it sounds very cool. If you didn't get that reference, you need to go watch my cost video. Super cool. A lot of human voice in the soundtrack. Very effective. In the timpani. Boom. That low droning sound like a... Hans Zimmer uses that a lot. Kind of low breaths. That's creepy. Oh, I kind of remember this. It's in like a ding 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 ding. That happens all throughout the soundtrack. It echoes. Just puts you on edge, like you're like waiting for it to resolve, and it never does, right? That kind of like human voice moving up and down like this. Piano. If I can play that somewhere. Was nature. Wow. Those are the chords from Ocarina of Time's Ganon fight. Here comes another one. Very nice. forth. There it is. Lots of brass. Oh, beautiful. The Breath of the Wild quote. Wow, all reharmonized. Wow. Man, we gotta break down this music sometime. Gorgeous. Well, that's from the Blight Ganon theme. Let's see if it does it. Those voices are definitely more Ganon than the Arizona. Yep. Man, the percussion is wild. Wow. That's so cool. I love that they quote the Blight Ganon theme. That's really cool. There's a lot of music we gotta get to in Tears of the Kingdom. How about this one? Okay. We just heard that in Ganondorf's theme. How interesting. Let's start listening for that. Wow. So I feel like a lot of times they take just little pieces. They take just that section, right? Man. And then they never continue to... Right? Wow. So this one's actually hard to find. When you're in the Wind Temple, and I presume the other temples as well, and you get into a battle, it plays this. Voices again. Da 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 da. Wow, so it's already done it. Wow. Amazing percussion. It's that same section again. How about the Fire Temple? Pretty cool theme. It's like jazzy, right? Wow. Dark's theme quote, beautiful. One of my favorite themes ever. Beautiful. It's also Dark's theme. And the chord progression. Wow. Da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-da-da. Another quote. It's like 4 quotes in 30 seconds. Wow. Okay. Awesome. I gotta stop before we do like all the temples. That's awesome. French horn. Beautiful. Oh, that's so cool. Wow. So, director's cut crew here. At least in the Sonya memory. I don't know if they do this in all of them. This is from a memory. The very end goes... and there's this reverse sound that all the memories start with. And it's like this drop, this teardrop going into this pool, right? Almost like Harry Potter sort of thing. And at the very end, they reversed that sound. And that has some major implications for kind of what the story is about. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. The Sage's Vow. Wow, and then it goes into Robber's theme. Super cool. Man, I could spend all day listening to this music. What about Hyrule Castle? Listen to the strings. Wow. As everything else plays, the da 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 da. Wow, beautiful. Intertwining all the different Ganon themes in there. Super cool. And quoting the Breath of the Wild Hyrule Castle theme. There's so much to cover, guys. I wish I had like 2 hours to do this video. This is one of my favorite themes ever, but it's towards the end game, so I can't say the name of it. So powerful. We gotta skip ahead. I can't go through all of it. I promise we'll do a full reaction to this later. If you guys want to see that, let me know. Okay, let's skip ahead to 205-ish. Eric Hu playing the main theme. Gorgeous. Sax, piano. That was cool. That was very smooth. Ah, and then the 4-note part that it always plays. Perfect example of the Zelda chord. Flat 6 with 5 in the melody. Gorgeous. Man, we'll get into that another time. Jeez, music packs a punch, I tell ya. Fascinating. It's in perfect fifths this time. Right? And in the background with the tuba, maybe? They played the 6-note descending like bom, 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 bom. Wow. This is gorgeous, guys. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole if I keep reacting to this. Oh my gosh. We got to cover this later. Jeez. I should do just an endgame video. The Imprisoning War memory. Not the cutscene that you see over and over and over again, but the full memory. Does anyone know what that's from? But in the Dark Beast Ganon appearance, listen to this.
Reborn time and time again.
But it's actually not from that. Okay, check this out. Let me play this for a little bit of context. Here's Dark Beast Ganon in Breath of the Wild. Another smooth transition. Wow. And how have I never reacted to this? Super sick. Wow. Okay, so this is like the finale of Breath of the Wild, right? It's the Dark Beast Ganon, whatever it's called, final fight. Okay, but in the Dark Beast Ganon appearance, listen to this.
Reborn time and time again.
Does anyone know what that's from? Dum 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 boom. When I heard this, I went on a 30 to 45 minute search of all of the music I could think of that related to this, and I finally found it, and I was like, I'm doing a video on this. Oh my gosh. Okay. This track's called Puppet Ganon Second Half from Wind Waker. Wow. And again. Okay, so it appears there, but just moments after that, when you're actually confronted with Ganondorf in the scene, listen to this. Ooh. Listen carefully. And then, right after that, what theme plays? Da da dum, da 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 dum. I'm trying to make that into something. Okay, come on now. Guys, it plays right before Priest of the Dark Order. Are you kidding me? Now listen again to the Dark Beast theme. That is by far the most subtle reference I have ever heard from Zelda composers. Ridiculous. Guys, if you like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend. Thank you to my patrons. And as always, Zelda Music Theory, out.